We start with a story out of southern Gaza. The Hamas-run civil defense agency says an Israeli airstrike in the city of Khan Yunis has hit the home of a doctor, killing 9 of her 10 children. Her husband, also a doctor, was seriously wounded in the strike. Israel says it was targeting Hamas operatives in the area. Hamas is designated a terrorist organization by the EU, US, and others. Let's get more from Ahmed Bayram, Regional Media and Communications Advisor for the Norwegian Refugee Council. He joins us from Amman, Jordan. Ahmed, this week Israel has allowed just a fraction of the aid trucks into Gaza that the UN and aid agencies say the territory needs. How's your agency doing? Have you managed to A, get your aid in, and B, distribute it?
We have not yet. We have enough aid to load up to 200 trucks. It's all waiting by the border. It's ready to move in. We are ready to scale up any minute as Norwegian Refugee Council and indeed as a humanitarian community. But we are now reduced to supporting people with the most critical, probably, life-saving aid, which is water. We are providing some water for people, for tens of thousands every day. That keeps shrinking by the day because of deep shortages in fuel. We are providing some support to children as well with education, trying to distract some children from the sounds of bombs and rockets around them. But that's, I can tell you, that's barely scratching the surface. There's so much aid waiting a few miles away while children starve, sleep in the open, and get killed.
Give us a sense of how difficult the process is compared to, say, the beginning of the year. Has this been fairly consistent, or have you seen it basically become increasingly difficult?
Just the fact that, of course, there's the Israeli blockade makes everything nearly impossible, makes aid nearly impossible to provide. But let's say, the gates, are open now. Of course, for the time being, we only have 100 trucks, over 100 trucks. The process, it is fraught with danger. It's full of course, bureaucracy, long inspection processes. Once the aid enters Gaza, it means that you need approvals from the Israeli side to move your truck along the road which is likely being bombed again and again, of course. It's not safe to move from point A to point B. And once you've moved, of course, the risk of looting and criminal elements, as we have seen, grows. And once you are there, let's say at the bakery, or once you're at your distribution point, you will see the desperation, the huge numbers of people, hands raised, waiting for that bag of bread to fall from the rooftop.
You talk about desperation, Ahmed. Can you give us a sense, an idea of what people in Gaza are doing to cope with the lack of food and drinkable water?
They're making bread out of pasta noodles, out of ground beans, out of ground lentils. That's their bread now. I hear a lot from colleagues about children asking, why are we hungry? Obviously, you've seen images of children reduced to skin and bones and on the verge of death. People are, considered lucky to consume one meal a day. You're not going to have a chance for the next 24 hours. The mothers, the grief of the mothers, of course, the agony of the parents who can't find a bag of bread for their children, which, by the way, now a loaf of bread costs more than $1 in Gaza on average. 1 kilogram of onions costs $50. $50, of course, that probably no one has at the moment with the lack of cash. It's desperation all around, and we know the solution is simple: Israel opening the gate and keeping those gates open. But you can't feed children while killing them at the same time. The killing has to stop, the bombing has to stop, so that, we have a ceasefire, we have, the hostages able to go back home, and of course for aid to flow into Gaza.
We understand the opening of an aid distribution point that will be controlled by Israel and the US has been delayed. Has your agency been contacted by the organization that's expected to run it?
We have made it clear that we're not going to be part of any mechanism that, is overseen by Israel, simply because Israel is party to the conflict. It can't be neutral in this case. It's clear that the provision of aid, if Israel takes over, that provision of aid is going to be militarized. It's going to be linked to military aims. It's going to be, linked to political aims. So we have been clear all along, and I think with us, almost the entire humanitarian community, we cannot compromise on our independence, on our neutrality. If there is one thing that remains independent in this conflict, it's actually aid that, reaches people without, looking at, anything but the needs on the ground. And children are starving at the moment. And, we can't risk a system that compromises all of that.
Understood. That's Ahmed Bayram, Regional Media and Communications Advisor for the Norwegian Refugee Council. Thanks for your time, sir.